The webinar is live and I see our friends joining. Hello, everyone. Super exciting. Welcome to another week of the Lunchroom. We've got a special episode in store for you today. Mark, how are you doing? You're dancing happily, which is always a good sign.
The special part of that that Sarah's referring to is the fact that I'm back as host. That's what makes today special, of course.
It's true. You know, before we went live, I forgot how we usually handled this opening moment because I haven't had Mark as my co-host and co-pilot in a while. But I'm so glad to have you back. Welcome. You look very tan.
I don't know why. Because it was 50 degrees and raining all weekend. So
it was.
Certainly wasn't that helped, but thank you. I will take it. I always face natural light in Zoom. That's the secret, I think.
That's the secret. Okay, after 15 months, he's finally sharing his Zoom secret. So thank you, Mark, for that. You've been information hoarding this whole time. Yeah. We are so excited to have all of you tuning in for this week's special episode of The Lunchroom. And if you're here, you know why. But I am Sarah Schofield-Manster. I am ART's Assistant Director of Special Events and Partnerships. I use the she series of pronouns. I'm going to offer a short audio description of myself for anyone who has visual impairments or is listening to this like it might be a podcast. So I am a white woman with long, very dark hair. I am wearing a powder blue sort of collared shirt that I got at the thrift store and I'm very proud of. I'm wearing headphones so that I can really dial in on this conversation. And I'm sitting in a swivel chair with like a little light yellow gabled roof background behind me. It's my architectural lingo coming into play. And I'm going to turn it over to Mark for his introduction before I come back with a little bit of Zoom housekeeping. So Mark, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Mark Lunsford here. Hi, everyone. I take the he series of pronouns. I am a white man with short brown hair. Just got a haircut this morning, a brown beard. And today I'm wearing a sort of blue button-down shirt and a sort of very sort of tan, blue, brown, something kind of jacket. Sitting in my apartment, you can sort of distantly see some furniture behind me. And I'm calling in from Somerville, Mass., which is the traditional unceded territory of the Pawtucket and Massachusetts people. And yeah, it's live theater, y'all. I did not charge my computer before this because I'm a, very smart, capable person. So as Sarah continues in her housekeeping, you get to watch me run around my apartment and find my computer charger. Enjoy.
If you could get a Benny Hill soundtrack in the background, that would be very helpful. But go ahead, Mark. We've got this. We all understand. We're all friends here. Thank you again. I've got just a few more pieces of Zoom housekeeping and some notes from the theater before we get to the meat of today's content. The first thing is I'd just like to acknowledge that the chat is disabled, so you are not able to communicate with us using the chat feature. But please do submit questions using the Q&A feature that is located at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We're going to try to reserve the last 15 minutes of the hour to answer your questions. Feel free to submit at any time, but know that we likely won't get to them until the end of the hour. If you would like to enable live transcriptions, those are available through Zoom. They're automatically done through Zoom, so they are by no means perfect, but they're fairly accurate. You can turn that on by looking at the bottom of your screen. There should be a little button or an icon with 3 dots. It says more, at least on a PC. Click that, and depending on what level of Zoom you have or which edition, it'll say live transcript or show subtitle. You can enable that and follow along with live subtitles at home. I would like to do an Indigenous land acknowledgement for both myself and the theater. The Loeb Drama Center and Oberon are located on unceded territory of the Massachusetts people, and I myself am calling in from the territory of the Massachusetts, Pentucket, Pennacook, and Wabanaki peoples. And I would encourage everyone at home to do a little investigation on the Indigenous land that you are calling in from today. I'm going to drop a resource in the chat that's very helpful for identifying where you are. And last, but absolutely not least, we have our ART's anti-racism commitment. And this is to say that the ART is unequivocally opposed to hate, and we center anti-racism as a core value. We expect everyone in the ART community, including our audiences, to uphold these values. And as such, we will not tolerate anti-Blackness or racism of any kind in our buildings, nor at our online events. We aim to create an environment that is uninhabitable to racism and to discrimination, where all BIPOC staff, artists, volunteers, audience, and community are seen, heard, valued, and provided the opportunity to thrive. This work is only possible when we do it together. So thank you for being our partner in it.
Sarah, thank you for all of that. You've always got our back.
I gotcha. I'm here.
Always great to be on the Zoom screen with you.
Likewise, my friend.
And oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, is that you?
No, I thought you were in charge of the sound.
No. Oh no.
What could this mean?
This feels very ominous.
I know.
Divorce.
Well, maybe I should bring our guests in.
I mean, maybe I don't know what else we could do at this point. Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna go away, but you take it away. All right.
All right. Please join me in the lunchroom, Queens. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, everyone's going to be so mad at me for cutting that off, but like, there was never a good time. Never a good time, right? Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, look at this Zoom screen. This is so exciting. We have all of the queens from 6. We have seated a full court today. So thrilling. I can't wait to jump in with you all. It's so good to see all of you. It's been way too long. But before we jump in, I just want to sort of popcorn it around to give you all a chance to say hello and introduce yourselves. And I'm just going to sort of pop it over to folks as they appear here on my Zoom screen. So Anna, I think you're up first.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name's Anna Uzele. I am calling in from the land of the Nanticoke, formerly now known as Wilmington, Delaware. And I'm sitting in my mother's art room right now. So I'm surrounded by her paintings and her pencils and drawings and things like that. I'm a Black girl in a floral top with a plunging neckline. I'm really happy to be here.
All right, Mallory.
Hi, my name is Mallory Maedke, she, her, hers. I'm calling in from the Oneida Nation Reservation, which is where my family lives currently. And I'd also like to give land acknowledgement to the Ojibwe Nation and the Ho-Chunk Nation, which also is around the corner. I am a white woman with long red hair. I'm wearing a white and blue striped shirt. I'm in my mom's office in the basement. And there's a mirror and a clock and all these things around me too.
Welcome. All right, Courtney.
Hi, my name is Courtney Mack. I go by she, her pronouns. I am one of the understudies in the show, and I'm calling in from Wisconsin. I am wearing a green tank top. I have dark hair, and I'm sitting in my childhood bedroom.
Yes, Adriana.
Hello, lovely people. My name is Adrianna Hicks, and I use the series pronouns for she. And I am currently playing, or I can't wait to get back to playing Catherine of Aragon in the musical 6. And I am currently sitting in my childhood home as well. I have on a black little suede hat here and a black and white romper going on with short black hair. And I am a Black woman. I'm very proud of that. Thank you so much.
Samantha.
My gosh, couldn't find where my mute button was. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Pauley. I play Catherine Howard. My pronouns are she, her. I am on Kickapoo land here in Skokie, Illinois. I am sitting on the floor of my living room, surrounded by 2 giant greyhounds. I have dark hair. I'm wearing my glasses today because I can't see anything without them. And I have on a wonderful black acid wash tie-dye sweatshirt dressed up just for all of you.
Love it, love it, love it. Brittany.
Hey, everybody. My name is Brittney Mack. I am just a Black queen from the South Side of Chicago, wearing a sensible charcoal gray athletic t-shirt, a sterling silver hoop, And my crown and glory is on the top of my head, messy as all ever. For those of you who don't know, the crown is the hair, honey. It's up and because it's hot. I am in New York City proper right now, and this Black girl from Chicago plays a German queen that is Anna Cleves in the Six the Musical.
Yes. Andrea.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea Macassette. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am currently in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Treaty Number 1 territory, traditional territory of the Innu, Anishinaabe, and Dakota people. I play Anne Boleyn in Six of the Musicale, and I'm wearing a red tank top with a red background, 50 Shades of Red. And I'm a Filipino woman with some loose, crimpy, braided hair today.
Love it. Welcome. Okay, Abby.
I had to clear my throat.
Do it.
Excuse me. More. Hi, guys. It's Abby Mueller. She, her, hers. I'm on Kickapoo Land in the Chicago area. I play Jane Seymour in Six. And I'm a white woman with a blonde ponytail. I love you. Paul.
And last but most certainly not least, Nicole.
Hello, I am Nicole Kyoung-Mi Lambert. I am on the land of the Canarsie in Brooklyn, New York. I hope my Wi-Fi is okay. Fingers crossed that it's keeping up with y'all. Okay, cool. I am a brown Afro-Korean woman. And I am wearing a black track jacket, and I have long black wavy hair. And I am a swing in Six Musical.
Well, like I said before, what a thrill to be on here with all of you, to be reunited with all of you. Samantha, it's great to meet you. So happy to be connected. And I think it's been a long time coming for us to have all of you here on the lunchroom. Something we've been talking about for quite some time. And I thought June 1st, summer has begun. This is the beginning of the spring celebration week for ART. What a better time to have you all join. And we have so many folks watching today, and just reminding everyone about the Q&A, which I will keep a very close eye on, and I will get to as many questions as I can. But I just wanted to start in, we talk a lot, and in particular with folks who are performers who have been sort of facing this time in COVID, when we've all not really been able to do the work as we knew it. But I think particularly for all of you, so much was building up to this Broadway opening, and the night of the opening, Broadway shuts down. I think, didn't the order come in like at 5 p.m. and the curtain was supposed to go up that night? It was very on a knife's edge, I believe. So I just wonder, if what the reactions were to that, or sort of what the feeling was around that, to be sort of all of that energy going into that night, and then all of a sudden having to turn the lights off for a while.
Bittersweet, if I'm honest about it. So I'll just break the ice and say that, because it was overwhelming, and I know for me it was like, oh, this is very interesting what's going on, and I'm also very aware that we are partaking in something that is very historical. I feel like something is going to go down that will be written in the history books for sure. But it was kind of bittersweet because I know that I was personally tired by that point. We had been working so hard to get to this point, and it was like, no, it's going to be postponed, and for it to go till only April. So it's like, oh, we get a month off of rest, wonderful. And then after that, it's like, well, we're going to extend it till possibly July, and it's like, okay, cool. Now it's September, cool. And then it just kept snowballing in that way. But just to see how these women have really taken on such a beautiful attitude with dealing with what we all had to go through, and just kind of navigating our way through it so beautifully. This past year has been inspirational to me.
Yeah, just to echo that. So true. I feel like because of how exhausted we were, I'll speak for myself. We really didn't know what was happening when it all shut down. We had no concept of what this meant for us, what the year would look like. So when they said, we'll be back in April, I was like, cool. Okay. Sounds great. I'll just go take a nap for a month and then we'll regroup. I think the gravity of what it was took a bit longer to hit me personally. I was on my way to the theater, my dress in hand, bag full of makeup, ready to go. And my agent texts me and goes, turn around. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so that day was just a bit weird. My parents had driven up to come see the show and we ended up just hanging out and getting Indian food instead. So it wasn't that bad of a night, actually. And it took a while for us to realize what it was.
Were you guys like, because I imagine too, like just the fandom was probably like swarming you in that moment, right? Like, oh, we're so sad we don't get to see it. I mean, what was that sort of like? What were you hearing from the audiences and the fans who were disappointed or?
Yeah, I mean, all of us individually, and the theater community, the fandom, the Queendom specifically, was very hard behind us. We love theater. We can't wait for you to come back. The support, and it's been endless, right, through this entire thing. Like I said, the entire community, and the Queendom stays loyal. You know what I'm saying? So they've been there for us and really kind of helping us because it's also been really difficult financially, right? And so, being able to have platforms like Broadway Plus and things like that, where you're just thinking, well, maybe they'd be tired of us by now. And they're just there supporting us. And, yes, we're teaching and giving a service and things like that. But the support is what kind of keeps us level, right? And then allows us to continue to use our crafts and make sure we still got our thing going on as well as artists. So yeah, I know I was in the theater when we got the call. So I was already there in Midtown. And so it was just hard because the dressing rooms were just so pretty. And that's what made it a little like, for me. And then all of a sudden, what hit was like, because the crew was there as well. So it was like, oh, wait, everyone's crew, everyone's costumes in the entire industry. So you just think about how hard the entire industry was hit, that it's not just our show. Everyone's like, oh my God, 6. And we're like, yeah, but like the whole industry and what it means for sound techs and lighting engineers, like ushers. And it was a lot and it was heavy to kind of be there alone. And by alone, I mean not with the Queen specifically, right? And then I ended up being able to see Mallory later that day. And then I saw Andrea later that day. So it kind of was like, oh, okay, cocktails. Getting better.
Cocktails like right away. I think I walked in and the stage manager team and Brittany were like, here's a shot glass and here's some wine. And I was like, what's happening? I was like, what is going on? And Brittany and I just kept being like, it's not just us though. Like, that's like the thing you and I, we were so like-minded. We're like, it's not like it's just happening to us. We didn't like feel bad for ourselves in the moment. It was more so like, this is affecting literally everybody in the entire world, every show, literally everyone. So we were like, yeah, you know what? We get to like have a break, get to like do some yoga, stretch out for a month and come back. And I mean, like Adriana said too, I mean, I felt like this year has been a blessing in a way. And I feel like I'm glad we didn't have our opening night just yet, because when we come back, it'll mean so much more. Yeah. And I think all of us are going to just feel like extra ready this time. Not like we weren't before, but I just think we're all in like a really awesome place to be able to get back in and feel 100% doing it all together and reopening Broadway at the same time.
Yeah, I think going back to kind of what everyone is saying, like when in Titanic, when like the sink is going down and the band doesn't stop playing because like the music never stops. Like we're never supposed to stop performing. And I feel like it was so symbolic when Broadway finally shut down. Like Broadway never shuts down. So I think for our fandom, to answer your question again, I think they were really supportive and really kind of just like wanting us to take care of ourselves. Like I didn't really feel a pressure like, no, you have to perform. Like there was a pandemic going on, and I think it was like really a wake up call for everyone. Like when the NBA and when Broadway like shut down, it was like, whoa, this is like a real world crisis. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think everyone was kind of on the same page and really just like was kind of a nice moment of everyone kind of just looking out for each other, like just take care of yourselves, you know, and that was nice.
I want to kind of take us back a bit if I can, because, you know, I was fortunate to get to come see the show at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater, a theater I have always loved. And I didn't know. I like knew that, it was such a hit, and I knew how excited folks were about it. But like when I showed up in Navy Yard, I was like, oh my, I did not understand like the sort of energy that is in this space. And like stepping into that as an audience member, I was like, wow. And so I just think, for all of you, sort of like, what was that process of sort of like auditioning and booking the gig and showing up together in Chicago, and this, like, you all kind of come together in this way that's like, wow, we are the folks who now are carrying this thing into another chapter. And I think it's like launched, so many of you into like an international space that maybe, I don't know if you expected that, it didn't expect that. So what was that energy? The 9 of you show up and it's like, here we are stepping into this larger than life thing.
Can I just, Sam, do you remember when something happened, and I guess we could work backwards from here perhaps. Something happened in rehearsals. We like did music, and I think it was the first time we finished Ex-Wives, and it was like right before our heads detached from our bodies. Because after that we were just like, it was this like really quick roller coaster. But there was one moment where Samantha goes, oh my God, you guys, we're going to Broadway. We're definitely going to Broadway. I mean, right? Like, shouldn't we? Guys, no, guys, wait. What if we actually went to Broadway? Do you, and Sam was this like brought from the beginning. She was like, we're going to Broadway.
I said that too, like after we opened, there was a day that we were in the dressing room, and I don't remember if it was like around the time that the Tonys were happening, because we watched them together. But I remember the day in the dressing room before a show that I was like, you guys, next year, I'm putting it out into the universe. We're going to go to Broadway. I'm just putting it out there. I'll let the universe receive it. And then look what happened. So you're welcome. I think from the beginning, though, we all just knew that we were a part of something really special. And I didn't know anybody in the cast except Mallory and Nicole, because we were doing a show together while auditions were happening. Auditions for 6 were happening. But I remember the first day of rehearsal, I walked into, you have to like walk into the lobby and take an elevator up to the rehearsal spaces. And I came around the corner to the elevator, and it was Anna, Adriana, and Andrea all waiting for the elevator. And I like kind of walked up behind them, just like standing there waiting. And everyone kind of like turned to each other, and everyone just started screaming. Like, we had never met before. We didn't know each other. No one even bothered to say like, I'm so-and-so. We were just like, like so excited and that's what it was like from the beginning. It was just an immediate like connection with each other. Everyone just clicked from the beginning, which I think is what makes our group so special.
And then Sam, like, I remember the next day after that, like, we met each other, we freaked out, but we still didn't know each other. We still didn't know who we were as artists and like what we brought to the table. And we're like, clearly these women are incredible because we're all in this together. We're all cast in this musical, but we still didn't know. And then I remember the first day we sang through our stuff and we like got to hear each person. And like, I'm going to cry thinking about this because it was the most magical moment to like look at all these women. And I just remember like, I couldn't breathe. I was like shaking the whole time, just being like, who are these people? The voices coming out of y'all. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I am in this room with these people. What am I doing here? And I think we were all kind of collectively feeling that together. So it was just this magical moment of like realizing who we were in the presence of and who we got to create this musical with. And there was nothing like that moment. I don't know if it hit y'all that way, but whew, I was dead.
One of my favorite moments was like before we all heard each other sing, we did like individual sessions on our own to like go through the songs. And Mallory and Nicole were like in each session because they covered so many parts. And I remember the day that Mallory was in there with Abby, and like we had a break, and Mallory came up to me and like grabbed me by both of my shoulders, and she was like, "She's doing so many whistle tones. You have no idea what you're in for." I was like, "What?" I was so excited. So then like that day, like Anna said, when we finally got to hear everybody sing through the thing, it was just like, I mean, I cried a lot. I mean, it's just, we already knew, like I said, we already knew it was special, but that's when I think all of us were like, oh shit, this is it.
I got to tell you, I love so much about it, but I am a sucker for a ballad. So Heart of Stone, people think I'm crazy. I'm like, Heart of Stone's my jam. That everything in the show is so amazing, but Heart of Stone takes me.
I think it was when we were in rehearsal, Abby, and it was like at one point where they literally had to tell us, they were like, okay, ladies, it's beautiful. Like, she sings beautifully and we love it. Y'all can't cry. Like, you cannot. You can't. Every time we would be like, and they're like, okay, that's not. So here, ladies, you cannot cry. So now we just laugh because we either gonna cry or something's gotta give. And so now we just try to find some reason to like keep our face focused. So I just look at Adriana for my center.
I came a little late to the party. I came like halfway in between the Chicago like sit down, whatever. And I saw your guys' first preview. And I was sitting right next to Carrie Ann. She didn't know who I was at the time. But I just remember my mouth was open the entire show because I was just in awe. And I was actually like pretty starstruck, and I was kind of nervous to meet all of you guys. So just me being like coming to see the show before I even was cast in it, just seeing it as an audience member, like, oh my God, it was like I knew it was something special already. And especially with the girls that are already here, like it's, oh, perfect fit. I loved it.
Yeah, I have to pick up on that audience piece of it because I think it's what a lot of you were saying about this experience in the rehearsal room. I think as an audience member, and as someone who, for my job, sees a lot of theater, I remember not only just the energy of that audience, right, but what you all do in terms of the energy that is put forward, and the show sort of sets you up for this, and you all just like take it and run with it with so much like boss energy. Like there's just so much diva energy, and like your talent is unparalleled. And we as an audience member, I think, don't get to experience that kind of thing this intimately and this up close, in 500 seats. Like you all are putting out this energy that we see in arena shows, that we go and see, Beyonce, or we see, I almost said Taylor Swift, and I wasn't going to give the satisfaction to my colleagues because I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. But we go to these arena shows and we experience it in such a distance, right? And you all are bringing that energy right on top of us. And so there's a different sort of reaction, I think, as an audience member to that. And it's so much more arresting because we don't get that opportunity, right, to see that level of talent that close and so much of it together on stage like that. It's a wild 75 minutes for sure.
Mark, I completely agree. Like being a swing, me and Mal and Courtney, I'm sure like they feel the same way. It just feels like we get to like always peeking on this like really cool secret that like no one else gets to like ever see or hear. Like I remember in the rehearsal process, Sam mentioned that Mal and I were able to like sit in on people's like sessions. And I remember being like, Mal, no one else has heard it, but like wait till you hear Anna. Like, wait till you hear Brittany. Wait till you hear Dree. Like, I just remember thinking, like, we would always have, like, just wait. And it's such a privilege to be able to be a swing in this show. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. You guys are all real cool. We're all
Everything
real cool.
has come so far from those sessions, Nicole, where we really were like, we were talking about the background of each queen and then also just like the background of each other and getting to learn each other through these characters, and just to like hear what it was like in the rehearsal space versus like first tech. Like, I remember Nicole and I, we went like all the way to the back of the theater at Chicago Shakes, and Kenny Wax and George Stiles came up and we were like, who's who? Like, we didn't know anyone just yet. And they sat down and they're like, just enjoy it, have fun. And we were like, okay, bye, nice to meet you. And we just felt like a little kid. The first boom of the bass, we were like, dude, what is this show? Like, I still get like awestruck just hearing like that initial bass at the beginning. And it's just incredible every time. And to see everyone like
Absolutely
grow literally every time they sing their song. It's super special as a swing to witness.
You guys probably think we're like crazy in the audience, but like, I dare you to sit in the audience and not react like we react. You remember?
I know.
Like, you see the show, like it's like you can't help but to get hyped. Like, you can't help.
Totally.
It was also, we at ART we've had a lot of successful shows. We've had celebrities in. We've done the autograph line. We know how to do that. I used to be company manager. The company management team who now at ART, who's great, Fatima and Alta, like have this experience, right? But I will tell you that like signature line, the first night in Cambridge, we were like, oh, everyone is here for everyone. Like this is not something we've really experienced, right? Like we've done the like, oh, everyone's here for Bryan Cranston and all these Breaking Bad fans have showed up. But like this was like all of these people are staying for everyone and they're not going anywhere. And there was just something, again, I think that's about that capture with the audience who just get to sort of release so much in that performance that it's undeniable.
Yeah, it's really cool to be a part of this gift. It truly is a gift to be a part of a show of this caliber, for real. And I mean, I'm just looking over my life and just how, I was that kid, I say that everywhere I go, just being the kid in the room, like wanting to portray all of these beautiful performers from Beyonce to like, Princess Jasmine, Disney, whatever, like it can be all of these things. And then to see the process of, the auditions, going back to your question a little bit ago, just like the going from the audition process of like, oh, I've been doing this since I was little. And like, oh, this is cool that this is a gift that I can actually, I've been practicing this. That's fun. And then you meet all these beautiful women and you get empowered by that. And then all of a sudden you're cast in the show and it's like, go through the process of what everybody has talked about, just being awestruck at the talent and the professionalism, the hearts of these women. And then you bring it to the stage, you put something together so beautiful. You bring it to the stage for that curtain to open up for the first time. And you're like, but wait, guys, I'm not Beyonce though. Like, like, wait. Like, it feels like that type of energy is like, wait, do you know that I'm just the girl that was in her room too? Like I'm not this person, but it's so cool. I love the way you articulated, Mark, the way you articulated it, of how we brought that into that energy to an intimate place versus it being in an arena. And that's also the special quality of this show. And not to mention that it is a musical, like it's a beautiful hybrid of sorts of pop and a pop concert and a musical. And it's brilliant that's even a thing that we can do on stage now. Everyone is trying to incorporate our little nuances here, and like, because it's like opened our minds more into what theater can bring and do for the community while still telling a story, while still touching people. And of course the ballad is the one that's like your favorite, like duh, like, it's there's so many. It's so beautiful to see how that is be a part of that journey and to see the dynamic of how it can affect people on all of those different levels and be like, what am I experiencing? But you're experiencing theater, but we're just evolving it more.
I gotta say too, I haven't seen a different production of this, but I've listened to the cast recording from the West End company, and I think what's also really important to name, though, is in a show like this that already has such a its reputation precedes, right? You all have still taken these characters and you've stepped into these and made them your own. You have brought yourself into them in your interpretation, and I have to imagine that is a very difficult thing to do with a property that is so known, right? It's not like you're creating a new show somewhere that folks have never seen, never heard, but you all have so thread this needle of like honoring this thing that people know, but also like bringing your full self and your full energy and your full talent into that role and defining it for yourselves, which I think is really, really incredible. And I think was one of the surprising things to me, because I think that's so difficult to do. I wonder if you can kind of talk about that calculation, thinking through like, there's so much, I don't want to call it noise, but there's so much expectation, but I'm going to show up and do my thing in this role because that's what I was hired to do. If you can talk sort of a little bit about that experience and creating these for this sort of North American debut.
I think what made the success of our authenticity show up in this show was we were given permission to be exactly who we are from the creatives day one. Speaking for myself, I went in with every intention to sound like the recording. Okay, I gotta be like this Don't Lose Your Head girl from the soundtrack. This is what here it is. Rehearsal, day one, Don't Lose Your Head section. And Toby and Lucy straight up said, I think you can opt up and I think we can add this riff and I think you can do this, Andrea. Like, we've heard you. So the permission to play and to use the skill set that I have felt right, and it stuck. And I think that's what happened with all of us. They gave us permission to play and to be ourselves unapologetically and to use those skill sets to our advantage.
I think it was also like, it was who we were when we auditioned, right? So often when we audition for music theater period, we come in singing what songs we like in our book and we do our thing and we're just like, thank you. Okay. You bring who you are, your charm, your this, your that, right? Then, you get the gig and whatever. And I will never forget this audition process was like nothing I don't think any of us have ever experienced, because you literally auditioned with everyone who was up for your role in the room, your role. That's because I claimed that thing. Okay. So if you are in the room, you're being called back for Anne Boleyn, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I was in there and I saw Andrea's callback, and everyone knows that I lost it when she got up and sang with this ponytail. I didn't know what was happening to my life. And I was like, I don't care who get it, but she should. I don't do your thing. So then when she, after work sessions and stuff, because it was like we would go away, then all of a sudden we would see each other and be like, hey girl. And they're like, hey, you feel like you just did this whole thing and we're in rehearsals, then it's like this anticipation to see the performance, right? And little did we know it would always change every time we do it. Even now it changes, like Mallory said. And so, but the best part is that when Andrea is saying Don't Lose Your Head, besides that option up at the end where we were all like, pose, what? And reacted, it was that we still saw Andrea, right? And so the permission was given, but it was more like, no. Remember the person that you auditioned, you, just you. That's what we want to see. We just want you to tell this woman's story. That's it. It's the very basics of it all, right? And then, we did presentations, which looking back, has had a purpose doing it. We was like, what the school project? But now it's stuff that we could actually draw from, right? It's those things. So students who are watching, take all your sense memory and all that, take it, put it in your belt because you're gonna need it later. So it was really awesome to be able to just do your thing, whatever that individual thing was. I'll never forget when Adriana, because we were all sitting there too, we're all waiting in this long day of callbacks, 37 hours. The snow came in, people couldn't go home. It was a hot mess, but we were all together. And it's funny because I was sitting next to Adriana, across from Anna, directly across from Andrea. Mallory's like at the end of the table. Sam had just come back from her callback and just posing. I was like, she is literally posing it. I'm not mad. Come on here. And so it's just this thing of, we were all very connected from the very beginning. If you think about it that far back, and then and then coming in, we were all like, oh my God, who do you think's going to play Jamie? Who do you think? And then it was like, the announcement came out and it was like, Abby Mueller to play. We was like, oh my God, we're going to Broadway. Like, it was just this very interesting thing that, like, I was like, listen, you got Broadway, Adrianna Hicks, Abby Mueller, and it was like, we're going to Broadway. We're going to Broadway. We're doing it. And so it's just really cool because where everyone might see, Adriana come out, the curtain open, Baby D showed this backlit with this posture, with these legs come out of that curtain. Listen, except I just see like Dree and like I just see my girls that we've gone on this incredible journey. I'm like, they don't know Adriana is asleep. Like, she's literally asleep. They don't know that she's on stage, but like, is she though? Right. And so it's this thing where you have these back, like, little secrets, like Nicole was saying, like, and Anna is just made a dirty joke. And now we all have to go on stage and be serious when we're trying to like not laugh, so it's this incredible thing about being able to be who you are. And like Adriana said as well, the new frontier of theater, that authenticity comes from real people telling real stories, and that it doesn't matter what we look like. The story is what matters, and how we tell it, right? And the best way of telling it is if we're all able to be ourselves while we're doing it. So, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, here we are, So, okay.
Do y'all remember, Brittany, you saying that the bit about the entrance reminded me. I don't know if y'all remember in Cambridge, but in tech, we were learning that like the HVAC for the theater was sucking the curtain in a way that it kept like falling back on top of y'all. And so I don't know if you remember, but like at the theater, there's like a different office on campus that controls the HVAC. Like, we can't just run up in the back and turn it on and off. And so we had to time it specifically. And so every night it was like, we have to start the show by this time. Otherwise the HVAC's going to turn on and the curtain's going to get sucked away. Very specific Cambridge memory. I just didn't know if that stuck with you.
Mark, if you only knew the saga of the Kabuki curtain. That was chapter ART, but there's been a chapter at every step of the way, even on Broadway. Right, guys? Did I block it out? I don't know. I might have blocked it, but the curtain, yeah, it's been a character all in a. But man, what a cool effect! Am I right?
Yes.
When it works, woo! It works.
People don't know though. People don't know.
No, all those behind the music, right there.
There's a great question here, actually, that I kind of want to throw to you first, Abby. That's in the Q&A here. And someone's asking if there's a part of the show that you feel an emotional connection to. And it always registers for me that like Jane Seymour has that task of like flipping the energy, and then we have to flip back out of the energy, right, in this middle part of the show. So not that you have to speak specifically to that, but I was going to kind of throw to you first, Abby, and for all of you to think about, is there something in the show that's particularly emotional that you feel very connected to, whether it's in your track or someone else's?
Well, excuse me. Obviously, as you mentioned, for my particular track, I have to make kind of a like sharp left turn tone wise. And then likewise, like the car crash of the House of Holbein right after Heart of Stone, which is hysterical every time. I'm like, whoa, there you go. But it's so brilliant the way that's constructed because you absolutely need it. But what's coming to my mind right now is that moment of when we all come at the end, the little quiet moment of we're one of a kind, no category, which sounds like kind of like cheeseball change, but like I feel like at that moment we're able to like take it in of like, oh, we're the queens at this point in the story. Like we've had this like, it's like this kind of like meta moment where we're all looking at each other and we're like, yeah, we're the queens. And then also all of us looking around like, but yeah, we're also us. And like, not only do we like make it to this point literally in this show right now, and we can't wait for like a drink of water and to go to the bathroom and lay down, but also like, oh my gosh, we're in Chicago. Oh my gosh, we're at ART. Oh my God, we're on Broadway. Oh my God, when we actually get back, I feel like that moment's going to be like, it's kind of like a nice little like check-in moment and sort of just to like take a beat and acknowledge sort of where we are. We all get to look at each other, which doesn't happen all that much in the show where we actually connect unless we're, you know, doing something else. But so that's what sticks in my mind, that sort of like hush moment where we like have a second to take each other in, and then we go right back into the, you know, another banger.
Another banger. It's so true. You said car crash, Abby, and we have 2 people on staff who I will preface the story by saying we're very okay, but we're like rocking out to 6, driving from New York back to Boston, and got in a car crash during House of Holbein. I know. And I always forget it, and I'll bring it up in front of them. They're like, no, I can't talk about House of Holbein. They were okay. Everyone was okay. The fender bender.
Oh, trigger warning. I'm sorry. I should not use the term.
Oh, no.
I meant whiplash, but that's not really good either. But I'm glad everyone's okay. Jesus, guys, drive safe.
I just, you know, because everyone was okay, I just like that banger of House of Holbein. I was like, did y'all cause the crash? Because were you just paying attention because you were rocking out?
That's a real thing, though. Sometimes I remember I got a speeding ticket. Sorry, guys. I got a speeding ticket once on a road trip in Ohio. I was with my mother because we were listening to Into the Woods. And it was like the Act 1 finale. And you just like didn't realize you were pushing down. You're like, what am I God? What am I? So that's real, guys. The music that you're listening to can affect your driving. Everybody take care and buckle up.
Don't Holbein and drive.
That's the message from today. I've been trying to make it to as many questions as I can in the Q&A, and just sort of weaving them in. And thank you all so much. There's so much love in this Q&A from your fans. Some not even questions, just, you know, love from Brazil, love from New York, all these places where people are so excited for the show to come back. There's lots of questions about the comeback. We're coming back in September. Yes, back on Broadway. Very exciting. So definitely go to 60musical.com, check it out. Book your trip. I want to, and we're kind of nearing time. We have 10 minutes left. And there was one thing I wanted to do, which is just sort of like a lightning round, fun questions for you all to sort of step into your queen and channel your queen for these questions. Okay. And we'll just kind of popcorn around. I want to get to everyone on each question. And just see where your queen would land in these modern day questions. And Mallory, you're first, so get ready. So I think my first question is your queen iced or hot coffee?
Oh, I feel like Boleyn would maybe want like a hot coffee with some syrup. Like spice, but maybe Seymour would like just a straight black cold brew.
Courtney?
I think I'll pick Kay Howard. I think an iced like latte or something.
Perfect. Adriana?
Definitely a hot coffee with like 3 sugars. Yeah. No cream, but 3 sugars.
Anna?
I definitely think just like a straight shot of espresso, nothing in it, just efficiency. Give me the caffeine I need. Let's go.
Yes, yes, yes. Abby?
Tea.
Perfect answer. Samantha?
I was going to say tea as well, because I feel like she would want to drink something that made her seem like a grown up, like made her seem classy.
Brittany?
So double shot, iced with a half a pump of vanilla, but she stopped drinking coffee, so now she do chai. Yeah.
Nicole?
Jitters. Yeah, she got to look right.
This is really hard because you guys all have really, really great concoctions. I feel like Aragon is definitely straight coffee, sugar. Par is espresso. But I don't know. I feel like Cleves could also go like the Frappuccino route. You know what I mean? Like a mocha Frappuccino. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with some soy milk. You know, we'll see.
All right, Andrea.
Belinda would probably have an iced cold brew with a shot of Bailey's. She would do that.
Love it.
Not tell anybody.
Okay, next one. What would have been your queen's quarantine hobby? What would have been your queen's quarantine hobby? And I'm going to mix up the route here. So I'm going to start with Samantha.
Probably reading, because not many people her Kay Howard's age could read, but she could read and write. She'd probably read a lot.
Brittany?
If she wasn't making reads, she was perfecting hula hooping on multiple areas of her body: neck, arms, limbs. Yep.
Andrea?
Oh, I think she would be creating her own fashion line. And probably skateboarding, learning how to skateboard. She would probably really do that.
That's a great answer. Nicole?
I'm gonna go with Par, and I feel like she would like Par or Aragon. I feel like they would do some woodworking. Like I feel like they would like make their own like furniture, just like low key, like really great thrones and stuff.
Wow. Abby?
Oh my gosh, she'd be giving everyone now like the scarves. She just crochet, like just knitting, crocheting, like everyone, even though it's like July, she'd be like, here, I made this for you. Just blankets, just anything of like yarn, thread, weaving.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Anna?
I think she would have like, yes to woodworking, but also I think she would have seen like the shit going on in the world and would have decided to run for public office. Like she would have tried to become a congresswoman.
Yes. I totally hear that. Mallory?
I also could see Kay Howard like teaching dance, like with her ladies in waiting. I could see them all like, if it were contemporary, they'd be doing TikTok dances all day for sure.
Courtney?
When you said this question, I immediately thought Bolin, skateboarding, Avril Lavigne, skater boy. So that skater.
Would Cleves be like rollerblading? Would she be like really good at roller skating? Not blading, roller skating.
Rollerblading with the hula hoop.
Yeah, with the hula hoop.
With the hula hoop on, yes. On.
With the Fleetwood Mac TikTok situation, right?
Yes.
Adriana?
I was going to initially say reading, because she would definitely read or knitting, but she also probably would dabble in a lot more cooking, I think, because she just like finding new recipes and making it for her family and giving it to like the neighbors and stuff, just kind of giving in that way through food.
There's this recurring question in the Q&A, and I want to leave us here, and just to say a huge thank you to all of you again. I can't believe we've just like blown through an hour together, but here we are. But there's this question that has come up from several folks in the Q&A, and so I'm going to kind of do a summary version. And it's basically folks asking for advice, young performers asking for advice in how to get a start. And a lot of folks are asking how to get a start in the music theater industry, but I would sort of just widen it, because I think there are lots of folks, whether it be music theater performers or otherwise, singers, performers, who look up to all of you. What kind of advice you have for young artists, young performers in particular, and how to break through, or how to keep that sort of resolve and that commitment and that drive as they're sort of training and perfecting their craft.
I would say don't give up. There were so many times where I was on the phone crying to my parents, being like, why did I pick this? I'm not going to like go anywhere. I'm going to end up working at like, I don't know, somewhere not theater. So, and every time I had one of those calls, they would be like, just keep going, keep doing your thing. And every time I would just keep going, and I wouldn't give up. And in this business, you need to have kind of thick skin, and if you, it's not an easy thing to do what we do. So if you just give up, then you'll never know if you can go all the way.
I would say just like start singing. Oh, sorry, Nicole. Hey, girl. I would just say like start singing, start dancing, starting at home. Like, I mean, going to one of the bougie summer intensives versus like watching a YouTube video, you're still training, you're still working on your craft. It can be really hard to go to those summer camps and things like that. So I feel like, when I was a kid, I didn't have like a ton of YouTube videos to go watch, take lessons with a bunch of different teachers out there. There wasn't a Broadway Plus out there where we could like take lessons and get coached by actual artists. So I would just like start where you can and just start singing, start dancing, and have fun with it before putting that pressure on yourself that you need to take all of these courses to be like adequate or good enough. It doesn't matter as long as you're putting full 100% effort into it and enjoying it. That's what matters.
Mallory, I love that. I was going to say something similar. Musical theater training is expensive. Okay. Like singing classes cost money. Like everything costs so much money. So I get it. Like it's hard. But sometimes I look back on like the things that I drew from the most in my performing experiences were like things that I learned at home. Like I wanted to know how to riff. I started to listen to certain people and just copied what they did. I wanted to know how to execute this move. I looked up 1,000 YouTube videos on how to do it. And then also for me, something that I like to remind myself as a performer is that like so much of what I bring to the table has to do with my experiences outside of theater. If I'm going to eat, sleep, and breathe musical theater every day, I will have nothing to bring to a character, to bring to the stage. And so like making sure to live a full and beautiful life outside of it, so that, because you must be filled in order to give. I'd love to remind myself of that too. Take a vacation, go read a book about something that you're just interested in that has nothing to do with theater. Like live a life.
And I gotta say that is the perfect way to send us off. You have to be full to give. That's such a great way to send us out. I thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching and joining us today. I do have some news, which is to say that it is the Spring Celebration week, beginning of our week here at ART. The Spring Celebration is this Saturday at 7:30. It is co-hosted by yours truly and Miss Anna Uzele herself, Brittny Mack. So Brittany and I will be hosting you on Saturday night. We're so excited. Brittany's teaching me all the choreo that I need to know so that we can have our dance routine ready. So I hope
rough, guys, rough.
So Sarah's going to drop in the chat for us a link to the event, and you can get involved today, because I'm also happy to announce that our auction is now live, running this entire week. And for all you Six fans out there, one of our auction packages includes tickets to Six in its return to Broadway in October. So check that out. There's also great Six merch, lots and lots of fun things in the auction. So Sarah has dropped those links in the chat. Grab them hot before you leave us today. Check out the auction. Please come join us on Saturday night. It's going to be a total blast. And again, just thank you all so much, Queens, for being here, for taking this time with us, sharing your stories, sharing your energy. This was such a highlight of the summer, and it's just begun. So thank you all again so much for being here, and thank you all for watching. See you soon.